It's the dawn of a new day in Albuquerque, New Mexico. For thousands of years, a proud Native American people have called this area home and maintained a deep spiritual connection to the earth and sun. It is perhaps fitting that the multicultural metropolis of today's Albuquerque be home to a high-tech testing facility composed of hundreds of giant mirrors, each with the sole purpose of harnessing the white-hot heat of that Albuquerque sun and applying it to scientific research here on Earth.
3, 2, 1, execute.
NASA has a keen interest in the capabilities of this facility and has come here to place a high-priced research item in the direct path of that blistering beam of sunlight. The National Solar Thermal Test Facility, operated by Sandia National Laboratories, is the only facility of its kind in the country. Stretching across 117 acres just west of the Sandia Mountains, the central visual focus of the facility is a 200-foot-tall testing tower, capable of holding research materials on various decks along its height and at the very top. Fanning out in an arc of 9 acres beneath the tower sit 218 giant automated mirrors, or heliostats, each composed of 25 4-foot by 4-foot mirrors, or facets. These heliostats are individually computer controlled and work in concert with one another through commands issued from the control tower at the opposite side of the field. The primary purpose of the heliostat field is to combine the reflected sunlight from those 218 heliostat mirrors into one massive, extremely hot, and precisely controllable beam of reflected sunlight. This beam is then moved directly onto a test item mounted on the testing tower, and the resulting behavior of the test item is measured as the item undergoes the stresses of the instant surface inferno.
We can provide 2,500 suns at the focal point of all the mirrors. That is 2,500 times the amount of sunlight that we receive when we stand outside on a clear day.
These unique capabilities were exactly what NASA was looking for to test a new aeroshell concept being developed to handle the rigors of aero capture and re-entry on future spacecraft.
The Sandia Solar Tower is one of the only places in the world where we can test our materials at relevant scales. So today we're going to be testing the thermostructural response of our structures and materials together in very close to a flight-like environment on the ground.
Aero capture is a technique that reduces the velocity of a spacecraft as it nears a planet or moon by making use of atmospheric drag to decelerate and allows the spacecraft to go into orbit. This technique allows for the spacecraft to carry far less propellant. In turn, the spacecraft can be lighter and have more room for scientific experiments on board. However, to succeed, aero capture must make use of an aeroshell, sometimes called a heat shield, that is lightweight but simultaneously can stand up to the tremendous stresses and extreme heat involved. The NASA In-Space Propulsion Technology Program is at the forefront of aero capture research.
The In-Space Propulsion Technology Program has been developing aero capture, solar electric propulsion, advanced chemical propulsion, solar sails, and trajectory analysis tools.
After months of test preparation, researchers and technicians attach the aeroshell to a mount, specially designed to rotate it for proper exposure during testing. They take special care as they attach cables to the myriad stress and temperature sensors located inside the shell.
Here at the Sandia Solar Tower, we're testing advanced aeroshell and thermal protection system materials.
So we will load the aeroshell thermally to produce temperature gradients and produce the kind of surface temperatures that such an aeroshell might see in flight.
Safety is the #1 priority, and strict safety guidelines are observed. Nonetheless, all personnel must remain ever vigilant to never find themselves in front of a heliostat beam, a beam so hot it has been shown in demonstration to melt a hole clear through a thick metal plate. The aeroshell has been properly mounted and deployed over the edge of the tower. Personnel have been cleared, and the test is ready to begin. The field of heliostats are rotated into starting position, and focused just off to the side of the aeroshell. The aeroshell is sent into rotation, and the countdown begins.
Starting countdown, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, execute.
As the combined heliostat beam moves onto the aeroshell, it instantaneously ignites in a blinding white shower of flame, spark, and smoke. The event is so bright, it lights up the immediate surrounding area of broad daylight with an intensity similar to turning on a light in a darkened room. Technicians and researchers monitor the event as it unfolds, and numerous gauges and sensors record stress and temperature data from inside the rotating shell. Special cameras with heavily darkened filters record the event from just below the aeroshell. While the event is too bright for the naked eye, these cameras are able to see through the blinding white blaze and directly to the surface of the aeroshell as it burns, providing valuable visual data to researchers. A separate camera records the event in high speed, providing stunning slow-motion imagery and adding further data for the researchers to later study. When the successful testing time reaches its end, the heliostat beam is moved off target, revealing the aeroshell to the naked eye for the first time. Researchers and technicians wait for the aeroshell to stop burning and then retract it back to the top of the tower for inspection. It will soon be packed into a crate and shipped back to the lab for in-depth study. This successful and dramatic heat shield test is an important milestone for NASA and the field of aero capture, and will no doubt help guide the progress of future spacecraft as they descend through the atmosphere of other planets and their moons with a brilliance only rivaled by our own sun.